Welcome to the Red All Over Show with me, Josh Everton. Joe Beardsall, unfortunately, substituting him for Andy. A lot of moans already, and we've only just started. Alan Smith and Craig Wood. We're going to preview Bristol Rovers, get Joe's thoughts on the transfer window so far, and we've talked a lot about incoming, so maybe potentially discuss some outgoings as well. And like I said before, we'll get stuck into the Bristol Rovers game. So, Joe, not spoke to you about transfer window. These two gents below have had their say. Al's taken down the Cosgrove shirt twice so far in this show.
It's back up today, isn't
it? When discussing, he'll be taking Phillips one down with a couple of rumours I've seen
Hey,
recently.
it's his birthday today. You can't say that. It's Adam's birthday today.
No, I've just seen some rumours saying that some certain clubs are interested in him and sniffing around.
I'm sure they just reposted from someone, to be fair.
They actually are, because it's Preston again and Swansea, which are exactly two teams who are apparently interested in summer. Joe, how do you feel about the transfer window? Areas that you think we need to strengthen in, and also the signing for Uji as well recently?
Well, first, I just want to say you're probably going to edit this out, Josh, but I enjoyed you singing the theme tune as we waited to get into the show. That was quite good.
That will be edited out. So
but if you want to do it again now, that'd be quite nice. No, okay, fair enough.
It's just we've stepped up a little bit now in terms of professionalism and just turning around the editing round a little bit quicker. You see, not like you.
Fair enough.
Not you. It took 6 hours after recording to get it up.
Well, yeah, that's fair comment. I'll try to be as professional as I can be. I think, of course, we'd be playing really well as transfer window opens, which is great that we're playing really well. But also on the flip side, we all kind of feel a bit like, oh, is anyone going to come after us players? The rumour mills are always annoying out there, let's be honest, because you never know if there's any actual reality in it with all these sort of 5-follower accounts that you see on social media that say someone's off and, there's no truth to it. I think it is key we keep Adam Phillips, though, and I wouldn't be surprised if some teams are interested in him because he's had a good season, playing really well at the minute as well. So I wouldn't be surprised by that, but it's really important we try and hold on to everybody we've got at the minute because, as I've said, in the shows I've been on this season, I've said I feel like we're 2 or 3 players off. And I feel like we just needed a couple more, maybe in the summer. Excuse me, January is a chance for us to try and rectify that. Always a bit more difficult. I think we definitely need, even though we're scoring a bit more now, another forward. I just think this bench looks a little bit light. I'm looking at the bench sometimes when we're not winning a game or we're looking to go and chase a game. I'm thinking who's coming on. I don't see enough strength in depth for me yet. So I think that's an area we want to try and strengthen. But it's good to see that, we've already sorted fullback, which is good. I was quite surprised, Josh, doing business as soon as a transfer window opened for Barnsley. It was I'm still in shock, to be honest. But no, jokes aside, it's good to see that they've tried to get some early business done. But I still think we need 1 or 2 more just to make sure we get in the playoffs because it's still a really tough battle. Whether we have a cheeky look for top 2, I don't know. Maybe I'm stretching, being a bit too much of a happy camper.
I have missed that because no one's mentioned top 2 so far this season, and straight away we are 3 minutes into it, and you've already mentioned. Could we get?
I think that's because we're sensible.
Half the audience have just turned off. Sorry, guys, for the other half that stuck around.
Viewer retention rates just dropped, but we'll move on. Al, we spoke a lot about incoming so far this window in terms of players we want to sort of see come in, especially areas there, as Joe's mentioned, another striker coming in, potentially another keeper as well. Not that Killiff's done a bad job, just to sort of keep him rolling, because I don't think you were necessarily supposed to be number 1 this season. But in terms of outgoings, obviously at that point, we're going to get a little bit of a bloated team, really, when you look at the forward options, in which you do have a couple of players that are quite similar, especially with Andy Dallas coming back from Barrow as well now. Again, another player sort of into the mix, got a chance to prove himself, or he might go back out on loan. I assume probably the latter, depending on sort of his situation. But is there any areas where, or players as such, that you think it probably is time to move on?
Well, I think Josh Benson will be on his way, isn't he? Because I think he's one of the highest paid players we've got on books at the moment. And he's not had much game time, has he? So if we can get Josh moved on, that'll be a bonus. As we've said in previous show, I keep mentioning Cosgrove. His shirt's still back up at the moment. He's not going anywhere at the moment, but could he be shipped out on loan? We don't know, do we? I mean, that's up to the recruitment team and everybody at the club. I mean, it's not the gaffer, is it? It's is it Mallard, who's director of football, isn't he? So let's see what happens. At the moment, we've got one in, which is good. As Joe says, we don't usually do business as soon as window opens. So I mean, he were a free transfer, wasn't he? So that's good, and he can play in a couple of positions. So let's see what happens. And on deadline day, is it transfer deadline day? There's an evening with the gaffer at Oakwell. So anybody who wants to go and pay the 35 quid, they might get some insight from Darryl Clark on that night. He might be on his phone and letting everybody know who's incoming.
Now, yeah, just stick his phone on loudspeaker so everyone knows who's on the way and how much they've been paid, and how much transfer is. I think that's 55 quid well spent if that happens. Craig, is there anyone you sort of add to that there? Because I do tend to agree with Al. Sort of Josh Benson, he was one of those players that came in with high hopes for him, but he just keeps breaking down. And I always say the best ability everyone can have is availability. Don't matter how good you are, if you play 10 games a season, it's not really gonna be worth it. And Cosgrove again, he just looks so good in that playoff semi against Bolton, but we've just not seen that from him sort of since then, really.
Yeah, I think after availability, you look for consistency as another key attribute that you need to have to be a good footballer, and that consistency is just not there. It comes in. I think he's had over 50 games and scored 4 goals or something daft like that. Nowhere near good enough. It's not as if he's influential in build up or anything else. He's a big lump who can be decent in the air, but I've not seen enough from him in the air. I don't think he's good enough to even be a target man. You look at the likes of somebody like Stephen Fletcher, who's ridiculously good in the air. Cosgrove, for me, I think it doesn't seem to be strong enough. But yeah, he's got 6 months left on his contract. We've got an option which I don't think we'll probably take up, and I think Benson's in a similar vein as well till the end of the season. For me, other than
Oh, there you go. You're back, Craig.
yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I got a dodgy wire and I knocked it. Yeah, I can't really see anybody else. I'm really looking for outs. Really, I'm looking for ins. I think a player that we have to look at. I just want to throw this one guy in here because I forgot to mention last time when I went through them all. Is Molyneux at Doncaster. I think him and Davis can what do you mean, swap around. When one's a bit tired, other one can come in, and I think having Dallas back, him and Waters up top rotating is another good option. I think he's a much better option than Cosgrove because, like I said in the last video, I think he's got the legs to play the system the manager wants. The system currently that we're playing seems to work for the players. So I think it's just about retaining it. Again, it's another one of them windows where it's not so much who we get in, it's more who we keep. There's lots of talk about various players. But you kind of still hope you strengthen. Like I say, when you're coming into a window with form, obviously players are going to be in good form, so people are going to be looking. But also, you're in good form, so you think your team doesn't need much improvement, but ours does. We've seen at the beginning of the season how much it needed, and I think we still need to hold that in his minds when we're thinking of this window. Like we're still one injury away from a left back being in the crisis mode. We were playing Josh Earl out there, when he's a centre back and should be our main centre back. So yeah, it's just got to keep it sensible, and yeah, I'm just hoping to keep on Adam Phillips this window.
And Cosgrove, what do you mean? Are we getting shut at him? The guy who scored the best goal ever at Oakwell against Wickham?
He was strong enough then, to be fair.
The streets will remember, Al.
Streets definitely won't forget.
I think that's going to be on the highlight reel of League One forever.
100%. That's one of them.
Just the flop from the goalkeeper did it all for me.
It's one of them where, like, back in the day when they put like funny football moments on the telly, like that. I'd now get it now. Like around Christmas time, there's no on telly. It's just shove one of them on. That'd make it as like number 3 up there with that Man City player that tries to overhead kick and it breaks his nose and scores no own goal at the same time. One of my favourite goals. Joe, is
You're
Craig?
trying to prove you're not a Man City fan, a Man U fan,
Yeah, by mentioning City.
but having to go at Man City fans isn't helping.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right. One let me in hospitality for free. The other I entered out from them, so I'm gonna pick my side there and pick my battles. Joe, it does seem like recently we have got better in terms of retaining key players, and when key players have gone, getting a decent fee from compared to sort of the exodus we had back in 2015-16, or maybe 17, sorry, when Harine and Winnall went in this window. It's generally not normally the window where teams necessarily come in for those kind of players because they're looking for someone that's going to give them that next level. A team like Preston taking Adam Phillips, for me, makes zero sense at this time because one, is contracted to be lower and less in the summer, and they're not going to trouble top six. They're not going to get relegated. So for me, it's one of them of like, what's the point in doing it now? Because it's going to have next to no impact to their season, but drastically reduce impact ours. So for me, it almost seems like one of those rumours that I can't understand it unless the players sort of pushing for it of higher wages, playing championship longer, better sort of like a better standard and things. I get that part of it, but for both clubs, I don't really get it because unless you're going to sign a player in January, you want that player to make a massive difference. Hence, Daryl DK for us in that second half of the season when we got in the championship playoffs turned us from chance of getting into playoffs to you're making playoffs and you've got a decent chance in it now. I don't see any players in our team at the minute that would make that step for a side in the championship because I don't see us selling someone in League One.
Yeah, I mean, I think Adam's definitely got the makings of a championship player. I think he will play in the championship. I'm not too worried about him going at this point. Sorry, Al, but I don't want to do an Al Liam Kitchen moment where I go, he's not going, never,
No,
never,
don't
never
worry.
happening. It's never going
I
to
am
happen.
clipping this up already.
I'm not being that. I'm not going to commit so much. I'm going to be a little bit on the fence. But I do think that there's a good chance he'll stay, particularly where we're at in the league now. We're looking like playoffs as another crack at it, and I think Adam, I don't want to speak for him. I reckon he probably would like a go at trying to get us promoted. And obviously, if we go up, then he'll be a championship player anyway. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to go in this window. I think we'll be all right. It's just for me, it's just where we strengthen. Al, you're not sure? You're not sure, mate?
I have just been looking, and Adam Phillips just signed a contract extension not so long back in 23, and he's contracted till 26, so he's got 18 months plus a year option as well. So we've got him 2.5 years if we want him. So if any team does come, we want Boku bucks. We want lots of money. We want to empty your bank account.
I think
Because it depends on how big the team's bank account is, Craig.
I think you should.
It'll have to be a
negotiations,
substantial
Craig.
bank account. It'll have to, and it'll have to yeah. And I expect a like-for-like replacement. I want a really good player if he leaves, I swear. This club better not do me dirty and get me non-league if he leaves. I swear I will lose it.
I'd love Mladen to get Craig into negotiations.
He's moved up from 30 to 8. So he's gone up in pecking order at club, any squad numbers.
Going into that 1 to 11 number. Al, is there anyone else you think there's a chance of going? Is there anyone else that you'd be like, we definitely need to keep them together? Because it does feel a little bit different of if yesterday's a month ago, I'd have been, honestly, let's just start again. Let's blow this team up in a way, sell them all on, and we'll just rebuild sort of from now. But now when you sort of see everything clicking together, you see everything working, I think there's almost a predictable 11 that we can sort of choose from now.
There is. I would think if he does go out, one I'm thinking is Aidan Marsh get some first team. I mean, he's always around, isn't he? He's always in periphery. I think Aidan needs first team, whether it's in League Two. He needs some first team football to progress his career.
I think it's a case of both parties as well, of either for him to move on at the end of the season or for him to potentially establish himself in the future as well in that 11. Craig, there's one position that I think we need to start thinking about now, which is centre half. When you look at I think Donny Pines' contract is almost on its way down. Matt Roberts is not going to be here forever. So when you look at that, you take them out the equation. You've still got Mal and you've got Josh Earl, but then it does sort of leave that gap in the middle of who can be that man. Conor McCarthy's coming in and done a job in that place, but then it sort of looks thin. Should sort of neither of those necessarily be first team options next season. So would you like to see a centre half potentially come in now as a little bit of, even if it's someone that comes in a bit young and raw, bed him in a little bit to then potentially start taking over next season?
I think we've already got somebody. I like the look of Shepherd. I think he needs is
in
young,
in the
raw.
championship though, potentially.
I don't think we're going to be in championship, mate. I really don't.
Why?
Come on, Craig.
I look at that playoffs and I'm not fancying anyone other than us.
I have to agree.
Really?
Yeah, Huddersfield will finish second. Wickham have just lost Bloomfield. They're literally about to lose all of their team because I think Coney's
They've
going to go
lost
with
a
him.
few players. They've lost a few.
I think Coney's going with him, so he's not coming out. Wrexham
the transfer window is definitely working for us because Stockport's lost Luke Berry as well. Not Luke Berry, Louis Barry. Yeah, they've lost him up front as well. They've still got Carl Wootton, but I can see where you're coming from. I don't think though the best time to sign somebody is now. I think we need to focus on where we are now and improve now. I think we'll have much more considerable pull in the summer. We'll have much more money in the summer if we want to go down the route of doing that. Pines, he's got 6 months left, but we've got a further year. So we've got him for 18 months regardless if we want him. Matt Roberts, I'm sure he'd renew. He's up at end of the year, but I'm sure he'd renew. Conor McCarthy, I think we're good with Josh Earl. I think he's pretty good. Dejivinier, I think he's got a year extension as well. So do you know what these 1 year extensions are really coming in clutch, by the way? Because if not, in 18 months, we're not in a good place. But these 1 year extensions are really working for us. I think that's why it's working beautiful for us. So right now, we don't look like we're losing anybody of any, squad deeming importance. We're losing a few fringe players. I mean, Conor McCarthy, Barry Cotter's up at the end of the season. So I think we can lose them and it not really derail us too much. But the likes of Adam Phillips, Luke Connell, like I said, Pines, all these will be coming up with us because they're still under contract at the end of the season. Not like last season we were losing half a starting 11, it seemed like. So we're in a much better position. But I think we should just be doubling down on this position. We should be, any air marks or any weaknesses we have got, I think we should be filling them now. And so when we get into the championship, we're not scrapping trying to get a championship squad together. I mean, a lot of these players, the way they're playing currently, I think I'd say with 5 or 6 of championship quality if they're playing like they're playing now and they keep that level. So we'd only have to recruit maybe 3 or 4 to stay up, But like I say, we've got to get there yet, and I think we've got to double down and back the manager. He's shown us a good style of play that the fans seem to enjoy, that the board seem to want, that the players seem to be thriving. So back him, give him what he wants, And when we're in championship, you're gonna have a lot more money then. I think one of the worst things we did is allow us to get dragged down back into this league after we went up, and we got absolutely a squad just got depleted by free transfers, and we can't allow that to happen again.
Yeah, it does feel like there's a lot more on the structure in terms of how we have operated in these windows over the last few years, especially contracts as well, tying Luca down after that first good season and not getting that Conor in situation of he's been good, but then his 3 years are up and see you later. It is nice to see that there's been progress from that time. So get your thoughts in the comment down below. Is anyone that you'd try and move on in this window? Is anyone you'd like us to sign in terms of players? I know Joe Taylor's gone to Huddersfield from Luton. Big statement signing from them, which I think more or less guarantees them second, if I'm being honest. If
Dion Charles as well, yeah.
Yeah, Dion Charles not so much. I don't rate him as much as thingy. He was very wasteful against us in playoffs and very wasteful against us um, earlier this season as well. I tend to remember. So yeah, he's not very good. But I'm saying that from my
Don't
semi-professional
sugarcoat it, Josh.
background. I'm saying that from my semi-professional background of playing. Yeah, and Wrexham, they're not very good. We've got about three good players then.
Are
Have
you
that
just trying? Are you just trying to get a bit of beef in
He
comments
just
here?
wants to rile Twitter up
See,
again, doesn't he?
I
He just wants...
yeah. He's just fishing, isn't he? Fishing for some
Yeah, have
comments.
that Wrexham and that
Like I
fan.
was two series. We are Wrexham.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be on it at some point. I think
Well, you might be if we get him in playoffs, Josh, and I think there's a good chance we might as well.
they won't make playoffs. Seventh. Seventh.
I think they will.
Seventh at best. Right, moving on to Bristol Rovers this weekend. So, looking at the stats pack, manager, I'm very glad about this name as well. Inigo Calderon, a very easy name to say there. Just been appointed in late December in place of Matt Taylor, and so far managed 3 games with 3 losses, 1 in the FA Cup to Ipswich and 1 win. Top scorer, Promise Omasheri, with 4 goals, joint scorer in the squad with Luke Thomas, of all players, with 3 assists as well, although Promise is out for the rest of the season. So look out on the away end with Charlie, where that is mentioned. It's at 20th in the league, 5 points above the relegation zone. Form 1 win since the 26th of November. Only picked up points, 4 points in the league since that date to begin with. Key player, Luke Thomas is up there at the minute as well with contributions in most goal contributions in the side of 1 goal and 3 assists. But Romain Swayers also, who's signed on a 1-month deal, looking the business already, according to Charlie. And formation 4-2-3-1. So, Joe, a little bit of a positive to take from that is Promise Omasheri is injured, because I remember him being a bit of a problem for us last time. Big, strong lad.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's constantly been a problem sort of every time which I've played him. Although, when you look back to the FA Cup game against him, first shot on target was a penalty in the shootout. So, one of those sides where we'd be expecting to play well, and one of their better players is injured. So, it could be a little bit of a troubling time for Rovers fans.
Yeah, I thought Promise was the best player for them when we played them first time around in the league. I thought he was really lively, caused us plenty of problems. So I think it's a massive shame. Another plug for the away end, and you'll appreciate this, but I've just had a watch of the away end with Charlie and Bristol Rovers fan, and yeah, he was saying obviously him being out for the rest of the season is a big blow for them. Obviously, we know they've got Luke Thomas. We know how talented he is on his day when he's up for it. He's really, really great. We remember that goal against Fulham, first game of the season. That was a great one back in the.
Was that the season when we just clung on to it for rest at first half of the season because it was only a win?
Pretty much, yeah. It was that one basically for like the next 15 shows or whatever it was. We just kept going. Oh, we did beat Fulham. so, but yeah, it was. We know he's a really good player, so he'll. I imagine be the bright spark for them if he's on it. But yeah, it's been a tough season for Rovers, more tough than I thought it would be. Obviously, on the outside looking in, I thought they'd be competitive again. Obviously, they've struggled this season. Didn't work out for the last manager, Taylor. So for me, at the minute, I can't see anything other than a Barnsley win, which probably means I'm thinking we're going to lose 1-0.
That's a shock that you think Barnsley might win.
I think Barnsley's going to win. I said we draw to Bolton. I didn't say we win, but I said we draw to Bolton after getting thrashed by Leyton Orient. So, always stay positive.
Yeah, nice to see that you've changed massively. How do you feel like this one? Because I remember when the Michael Duff season away at the Memorial Ground, that was sort of the game that stopped us dead in his tracks with that 0-0 draw against them. It just seems like one of those games we just could not score. And especially in that season, it seemed like they got a little bit of our number. I think we lost to them at home as well, if memory serves me correct. That might be wrong. So someone please correct me down in the comments if that is incorrect. But more recently, they have struggled sort of from that season and almost in not a managed decline, but just seems to be regressing season on season.
Well, last season we played them. I think it was early, wasn't it? Was it August? I think 12th of August. Went 1-0 up with Nicky Cadden. And then second half, they the runners, they're all over us. Again, second half, they could have won it. We drew one apiece. I think Scott Sinclair come off bench and an assist by we're talking about ex-Red Luke Thomas created it for him. So yeah, we could have lost it then. Looking at them at the moment at New Year, they lost at home to Bristol Rovers. Leighton Orient beat them, I think 3-2 on New Year's Day, and then they won on 4th of January away at Cambridge. Lost to Ipswich, and now they've got a game against us. So anybody's guess. New manager, bounce, whatever. I mean, Luke Thomas, I know under previous manager, he'd isolated him. He wasn't even his squad, and I don't know what had gone off with that. And now he's back in favour. And I know Luke will want to put on a show, which he did last year. So we've got to keep him quiet and make sure he's not creating much. But who knows? I know there's plenty going down on Saturday. Unfortunately, we're not. It's a bit too far for me with my dodgy hip this time. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game. And who's going to pick again? Selection. We're on again, aren't we? With Gaffer, Dara Clark. It'll be all to do with thinking of their setup and how they're going to lay up. So it's going to be an interesting game, I think. We ain't lost, have we? We're on as easy, hopefully, as 5th win on bounce.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to keep that record going, and I think we should be able to. But it's not an easy place to go to, Bristol Rovers. A tight little compact ground.
No, it's certainly not. And as you said there, we always seem to struggle against them at some point in the season. But Craig, there is a little bit of sort of solace to take from the fact that Calderon's coming in as a new manager. It's as though there's not really had a new manager bounce at all. 3 losses and 1 win since he's coming in that first 4. Granted, he came into quite a busy period as well, coming in late December. And obviously the Ipswich game's a bit of a freebie. As far as they're concerned as such, because not really got a chance against them as such. But it is one of those games where we're looking on paper, we're looking at this form we're on, and you'd be almost expecting us to, not in a disrespectful way, but sweep Bristol Rovers aside and sort of move on to the next one.
Yeah, and I think fans should feel like that because we've had an extra week off. The players have had a week to recharge, and a lot of other clubs haven't had that. Bristol Rovers, for some reason or other, are really struggling this season down there with Peterborough. I think they've got a pretty good squad, a good talented players, especially for this level. If we are looking for a centre back, Connor Taylor, their defender, has been playing pretty well this season. He seems to be having good ratings every game, even though they're losing. So yeah, I think you've still got to be wary of teams like Bristol Rovers. You know, you've got Chris Martin, who's probably going to be playing up top if Amateri's not playing. Jamie Lindsay in midfield. I think he's a good player. Grant Ward, championship stalwart over years and years. Sitorio, who are ripping it up last season, seems to have deflated a little bit this season. And obviously Luke Thomas, who we know can put in a man of the match performance at will if his mind's right. So look, there's dangers there, but these are the sort of matches we need to stamp as authority, and just show us form and put it to good use. We don't seem to be really missing anybody. We don't really seem to be. We're in a good vein of form. You know, we've had 2 weeks off now to recharge them legs and get over Christmas. I think Davis's missus has been putting on TikTok that they went to Spa that weekend. So, you know, he's definitely been relaxing a little bit and enjoying himself. So yeah, I'm expecting a win and a pretty emphatic one at that. I've been new managers come in and that new manager bounce just isn't there at all. I can't say I really know the guy. I don't know his football. I know he's playing 4-2-3-1, and it's really not working out for him. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But we're away as well, which seems to help us out. every metric seems to be pointing to us having a good game and a pretty emphatic victory. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend.
So 2-0 Bristol Rovers incoming, and he's exactly what it sounds like to me. Um, Joe, do you think this is, obviously, when you look at this run now in which we're on, and it feels like sort of momentum is building with us, feels a little bit reminiscent of the 2016 season, 15-16, when we were at this point of the year, we were probably like 18th or something, and we just sort of walked its way through the second half of the season. I think when we're looking at the sides which we've beat as well, it's not like it's been an easy period. And we've come through with these wins, especially sort of coming off the back such a hiding from Leyton Orient as well. It does. I think it definitely fills fans with a lot of hope for the rest of the season. Should sort of nothing major change between now and then, such as losing a key player.
Yeah, absolutely. And Craig, you're stealing my positive. I'm supposed to be the most positive. Are we having a competition tonight? Is that what's happening now? I didn't
Hey, it's good
realise that.
vibes. It's a new year.
I know. I've just snuck in for a one-off, but have you took my my mantle of Mr. Positive? Well, a bit of
Hey, if rolling our way, it's rolling our way.
I think
Uh,
we should be playing at this moment in time. Beach Boys, good vibrations.
but yeah, Josh, it does have the starts of that. Not quite that yet, but I think it's got the starts of remembering that run. Now we've hopefully, I'm going to whisper it, sorted the home form out a little bit. I think we've got the ability to hopefully do this back-to-back wins. Um, I think that we've got to be careful with this one because we're all sat here as fans, and we always will be. As soon as we've won a few, we get giddy. As soon as we've lost a few, we think we're going to finish mid-table or 17th. But I think we have got to be careful mentality-wise because yeah, lads have had a week off. It's good that they've been able to have a bit of a rest after a really busy period, but also that can knock your momentum a bit. When you're winning games, I think you just want to get back out there as soon as possible and go and win another game. So we've got to be a little bit cautious of that and make sure that we're on it. Because for me, I think this season, I still believe we've had a good season. I'm not trying to be overcritical here, but I still think we're a little bit behind where I'd hoped we'd be. I hoped we'd be maybe 5 points above, competing on the same level of your Huddersfields. That was the hope and the aim. So I think, yeah, mainly down to the home form. That's just cost us that. But really, I feel like we're playing catch up. If we really want to have a go at it this season, I still think that top two might just be there. But we've got to make sure this run continues like that run you talked about. I think it was 2016 or whenever it was. Yeah, it was 2016. We need that run to continue if we're going to have an opportunity to sneak into that. And this is the time to do it because if not, we'll be in that position where we're competing just to sneak into the top six, and we don't want to be in that. So I think this is a real key point in the season. As we've said, transfer windows so far looking all right. Other teams, it seems to be impacting them. So we've got to take his chance now. Make sure this is not just 4 wins, but it's 6, 7, 8 good results in a row, wins or draws to keep us to get us back up to on hopefully the same level as your Huddersfields and your Wrexhams and your Wickhams.
Wrexham, don't worry, Wrexham will not be a problem. We'll finish above them. Hold you, finish above them.
You do look at Wrexham's squad
really
and think, that there might be an aging a little, a few of their players, so a full season might.
The thing with Wrexham is
the drop off might come.
Yeah, I just think don't go up because you have to buy a new team next season. Like they're all right in League One because you've got Championship players playing it, but you take them up, like you take Stephen Fletcher up to Championship, he'll be 39-year-old.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Still doing a job though. Still doing a job.
Yeah, 5 minutes. You don't want to do that again in Championship when you play in Leeds. You've got £50 million defenders.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, if you get up, then you have to readjust, don't you? They'll readjust.
That's the thing. I just think just don't bother. You're not ready for it yet, Wrexham. Look, there I've said it. You're not ready for it. Let the established clubs, the big clubs in this league, like Barnsley, let us deal with Championship.
Have you just called us a big club?
They're not ready for it. We're the most Championship side ever. We've got most seasons in Championship. We are the Championship. Go colour chat Championship. Back in those days, Barnes, what first team you see in there?
Poor Josh is not going to get a welcome in the hillsides in Wales, is he?
I'm never going, so that won't be a problem.
I think if he continues this on Ireland, we do meet Wrexham in playoffs, and if we were to lose, then I think there'll be some clips from this show.
Lose to Wrexham.
It'll be like
we lost to him other month.
It'll be like at Wembley with Andy when clown faces come out.
Yeah, that lost ref played extra time, didn't he? Played an extra minute.
I'm sorry, Josh. I have to disagree. I think our main
No.
competitors at the minute for me are Wrexham and Orient. I think Orient are very good.
What
Obviously,
about Reading?
yeah,
They're
Reading
just
maybe.
quiet at the minute. They're
They
Yeah,
quiet.
but
just-
they've
yeah,
got the
under the
exact same
radar.
record as us in goals and conceded. They are us from down south, though.
But with one less draw and a game, and they've got a game in hand.
Yeah.
But I think Huddersfield I think Huddersfield will get second.
Yeah, I think Huddersfield they're going for it, and they made they
Yeah.
sort of laid the stall out this transfer window and said, right, we're having a right crack at it. And I'm sure Michael Duff doesn't want to repeat what happened with us in terms of missing out and got up playoffs and then.
Oh, when he
But
bottled it, you
the
mean?
thing is, Rotherham's done the same, and they're tanked. You can buy out best players in the world, but you can't make them play together. That's the thing. So I do believe that a good, well-oiled team will beat a team of stars any day, and twice on a Sunday. If they haven't got the minds right. So look, it's all open. Like I say, halfway through seasons we can start looking at the table, and in March is when you start getting giddy. So at the minute, I'm just holding my own, and we'll see how it figures out for the next 3 months. And once that's done, then I'll start getting giddy.
I get giddy after the first game.
I'll get giddy pre-season after we smash a non-league team.
I will buzz you when Connor came back. Not really promotion then. When Connor was coming back as a coach.
I thought Mark Roberts signing after we're going to finish him off.
I do love the fact, Joe, that you just think we're going to bridge that 9-point gap though between the side that's in second of Wickham.
We know with this team, with Barnsley, we know what we're like. We're so up and down all the time, but we know we're capable of going on a run. We've done it.
You know why?
Twice in
He's
the
still
last
got
2
some
years.
shirts to sell.
The Happy Clapper shirts are still in loft, mate. If anyone wants one. But you just know that we are capable of it, and we've done it. Like I said, we did it. I know we ended up losing to Ipswich eventually, and that as we've seen where they've gone now, there's a reason we lost that game. If we'd have not played that game and played anyone else, we'd have probably continued that run. That was just the only thing that stopped us that season from me getting up there into the top. And obviously we know what happened in 2016 where we got in playoffs and kept going. So once this club gets momentum and once it gets all fans behind it, when it goes on a little run like this, it can just continue on and keep going. So if we can just keep this going for a bit longer, I think we can get back in race. Whether we'll get over the line or not, I'm less optimistic on that. I think we will still finish fourth or fifth, but we can have a go. Let's have a go. Go on, what we got to lose? Let's have a go. See if we can sneak in that top 2.
I mean, to be fair, when you sort of look at this Bristol Rovers, then we've got Stevenage after that. And then we've got Wickham. Wickham away might be a tricky one, but again, straight back to Burton. Then after that, of an easier game, I think the start of Feb, Stockport and Huddersfield. That Huddersfield game is probably key, especially if we make top 2, because it's taking 3 points off them and giving 3 points to us. I think that'll be key, especially if we've managed to bridge somewhat that gap. If it's 7 points instead of 9, you win it and it's down to 4, and suddenly you've got to bash at them then. But yeah,
after the season at the moment, we're far in advance of Gab Sutton 17th. I had to put that in.
I think Gab's already made the order of shirts. He's already admitted defeat to it.
To be fair, every time we seem to say that, though, Al, we're then going a bit of a slump and it gets closer to 17th for them, so I won't say it. Because I remember when I said it to him, and then we went and lost 4-0 to Orient, and he was there outside Oakwell, and I was like, oh.
But
we're nearly right.
That's in the back now. That's gone. That's the past. Look what happened since.
So it was your fault with us 4-0 to Orient.
My fault.
Yeah, that's
I
all I'm
weren't playing,
hearing.
mate. I mean,
That's all I'm hearing.
still.
Well, it is. It was your fault. Right, predictions. Al, what you reckoning?
Well, who'd have thought we'd have beat Bolton and who'd have thought we'd have beat Peterborough over Christmas period? So I'm going positive. I'm going for the same as Peterborough. 3-1 to Reds.
No clean sheet. Fair play. I can get behind that. Craig?
Well, first of all, I'll mention the away end because Andy's not here to constantly keep referring to it. So I will mention it for you, Andy. The away end is up, and talking to a Bristol Rovers fan. you know. So I'll just
Charlie
plug
Hayne
that
from the
in there.
Talking Gas podcast.
Also, the Red All Over shop is still live, and if you didn't get your merch over Christmas, you can still get it in the new year.
Yep.
Start off
Is
the
there a
new year
January
with new
sale on
merch,
Craig?
new year, new me. All this, get some fresh clothing, hats, cups, whatever you want. And I'm gonna go here 3-0 win.
Wow. I was pointing to Adam Cosgrove instead then.
Are you meaning Phillips or Cosgrove here, Al? Which one's scoring? Phillips, okay.
Al thinks 9-0.
It'll not be Cosgrove.
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. 9-0. Fair play.
Oh, Tottenham's just got 1-0 up and all. Let's go. Don't like Arsenal.
That's not good. That's not good for my FPL if anyone's interested. Joe.
Oh, sorry, you want me? I was just thinking about my FPL.
No,
Then
just
thinking
kept
about
saying.
who I captain this week.
I've got Salah.
gone.
I've got Salah who blanked, and then I've got Saliba at back, and they've just conceded. So no good for me at all.
Has Isak scored?
Isak
Craig?
has scored
Oh, get in, captain.
on his own. No assist from Anthony Gordon. Gutted.
That's a shame because I've also got Gordon. Anyway, back to
I've also got Isaac, just so you know.
back to our team. I'll go for Killip. Were just absolutely determined to keep a clean sheet last time, so I say fair play to him. But I think this one 3-1 Reds. I think we will win it, but just not convinced. We've still got mistakes in us, so I think we might concede one.
Yeah, get him out.
I'll say Luke Thomas is going to score it just because
with cool hands, Killip. Really? Cool hands, Killip.
It'll not. Killip is.
I want to see if
brilliant.
that just attaches itself to him, for the rest of his career. Cool hands, Killip.
Cool hands, Killip.
Hey, Cole Palmer, cool hands, Killip.
To be fair though, Craig, if Killip starts going like this every time he makes a save and the score and rebound, we'll not be very happy. So,
and do we think his new signing will be in squad?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm hoping so.
I wouldn't see why not, because he's had an extra week and all to bed in. So I'd be very shocked if Ferrugia wasn't involved. At least I imagine on bench, just to start with. Then he'll probably play against.
Have we got a pronunciation, Al? Because you're the master at.
He's not. I've not only tried to pronounce Mwakali.
It's Perugia.
He's called.
There you go.
Mwakali's number 50.
I call him Nigel.
Neil. Perugia.
I know it's Perugia.
He's got an Italian name, born in France, and he played in Ireland.
We've also got Davis Keeler Dunn. Keeler Davis Dunn, sorry, is what Al calls him.
So I'm Keeler Dunn dyslexic. Didn't you know that?
I'm joking. I never get it right. I'll try my best. But...
Anyway, it's Kelechi. I can get over that. Arkel.
Ask Nwakali, hard to say.
No comment.
There we go.
That's been in Barnsley too long.
I'm going to go for 2-1. I don't think it's as convincing. They've got to start picking results up.
After us, though. After us.
Yeah, but we're quite generous.
No, the last 4 games.
Not away from home, we're not.
Almost to a fault we are as well.
We're ruthless away.
Andy paid him to say that. Andy's special's got to be on show. It's not a Red All show we had a 2-1.
It has. It's got to make its way in somehow. Right.
He's not been here, but it's like he's been here,
Get your predictions.
Just to let you know there's a way in coming up. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go. That is exactly what I'd done.
Get predictions down below.
Yeah, that was my next line.
Predictions. Got Charlie with him.
Charlie Hayne from the Talking Gas podcast is on the away end with Andy. It's all you need to know. It's already up. Click on it. Have a look at it if you want your insight into Bristol Rovers. Right, get your predictions down in the comments below. I don't know the league tables because Andy isn't here and he keeps telling me he's not inputted the Christmas ones yet, which is good because we're in the middle of Jan. So I'm not saying you've got a lot of spare time, Andy, being retired, but I feel like that should have been done. Now, I'm not saying your KPIs are at work, but maybe it'll be down in the comments. I imagine he'll put in the comments of this show what the league table looks like. But if you haven't predicted, you've still got a decent chance because we're doing it for the full second half of the season. So a couple of correct results and you'll be right in the mix. And finally, I'd like to say a massive thank you to everyone that has donated to the fundraiser for the flag in the Ponty end. We've already hit the goal of, I think it was 1,600
Yeah.
Was a goal. It's now moved up to 2,000, but we're not trying to hit that goal. Just made it up to that itself anyway.
To everybody who's donated, and Callum's
Mm.
donated. Is it Malad?
Mladden's, yeah.
Mladden's donated, Callum Simpson and Julian Key.
Who raising that for the new flag for the Pontian.
Yes. So thank you to everyone that's contributed and donated to it. I've got no further information how that's going because it's been done in conjunction with Up and Down. Anyway, I think I don't have an ETA, but once I find out some more information, we'll share it with you as well. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully 3 points for the Reds on the road at the weekend. And if not, it's Joe's fault. That's all you need to remember. You Reds.
You Reds.